Well, good morning, everybody. It is July 29th, 2024, and it's the favorite time of our week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody. My name's Paul.
Good morning. This is Bev.
And good morning to you, Bev.
You too, Paul.
And we're going to base this on you today. That's
Yikes.
because we had a great workshop, didn't we? That was just a wonderful workshop on menopause and cortisol levels with Karen Austin from the UK. And
Yeah.
it was great information. So we're going to go a little more into detail because we don't take a lot of time on the workshop day. And we're just going to first start with you because I want to know, what did you learn? Because you sort of said it in her interview. You know, what you learn as a woman and what you wish for other women going through menopause or getting ready to go through menopause.
Well, when I remember myself, by the way, started menopause at 39. That was quite a while ago. It was, yeah, like what's going on with me? I tell you what happened after I heard Karen's presentation. Had a couple of realizations. Hindsight is wonderful after the fact, but there's more information out there, more people like Karen who are really changing women's lives, and that change comes with knowledge. I realized when I was listening to her that I had no clue. The doctor didn't say anything like, "What are you going to take, replacement therapy, or are you going to do this on your own?" Well, I did it on my own. God love me. But I had no idea all of this, the hormonal changes that was happening to me, why this incredible depth of stress and anxiety and hot flashes. I just felt like I was a victim. And we talk about that all the time, going through those healing journeys or those crises, that unless you really can understand what's happening to your body, you're become a victim. And so, on a daily basis, I was trying to do the best I could, deal with this, deal with that, take whatever supplements I thought I would. I was clueless. And I realize now that if I had had a little bit more information, that I would not have been as uptight or, "Well, my God, I'm out of control. What's going on?" I would have been a little bit more present with my body. And as I told you, well, for heaven's sakes, if I had had something, well, a modality in my life like BioTouch, I would have
Right.
come into, I think, a little bit more awareness in my body, because that's what BioTouch helps us to do. And I don't think I would have been as crazy. I mean, it took me a while, and I thought I was doing pretty good until, my son and my husband said, nope. Oh, so I was like kind of like on the outside of
Right.
it.
That's interesting. You
I
know.
wasn't participant. I didn't realize, I and so what would I love for other women is the opposite of what I experienced. To be present in this experience, because it's going to happen. Most women will go through a change. That's what they call it, a change of life. They'll go through menopause, this whole journey. And I will say, I did purchase a book, and the one thing that she said in there that got my attention, it really kind of helped me a lot, that she considered menopause an initiation by fire. And on the other side of it, you become the wise woman, the crone. I thought that is the most powerful thing that I've heard in this whole whatever time I went through this. So, yeah, I think I would wish. That's why I was so incredibly pleased to have Karen at this workshop, because
Right.
she gave us the most incredible information. And if you think about it, very basic information. What happens hormonal, all of those changes in our bodies, the incredible stress. we don't, the cortisol,
Yeah,
we
that
about
was
that
what
all the time.
that was what was interesting too. It's like you realize these hormones, and with cortisol that then affects insulin, which affects uh, progesterone, testosterone, estrogen, a lot of these terms, and you're like, I've never even heard of that. What the hell does that do? And it's
Oh,
like,
that's exactly my point. I had no clue. So I'm sitting here listening to this lovely woman, and I'm saying, why didn't I know this? If I had known and at least gotten a little bit, I don't have you don't have to delve into it, become a medical person,
right?
but just having a little bit of some really good knowledge, which might lead to a little understanding what's happening to my body,
Yeah.
what's going on with me.
And I think that's, to me, what you brought up too, that is the purpose we're teaching BioTouch here. Is it
Yes.
brings you, it's almost like what are those movies and they shoot him into this tube and you go into this other reality or something.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
BioTouch, the minute you do that greeting, it like shoots you into your body. It like puts you into the present. It like gives you that self knowledge which inspires you to research, to grow, to absorb information about what your body is going through at that time. It's
To be
incredible.
present.
Yeah.
To be present. Because I will tell you, when I started going, it was the late 80s, and there wasn't a lot of information out there for women, and most women, so here we are, just taking it, whatever. And already, we're already set up. When somebody mentions menopause, you're like, oh, I've heard all kinds of really scary stuff about menopause. So you're already in a place of, ah, stress and fear because you
Right.
don't know what's coming. Then you don't have any, you're not empowered in anything. So, yeah.
And then I liked what she said too. She said, be easy on yourself.
Oh,
Be easy on yourself.
yes.
And she even talked about different things you could do. And we'll talk about BioTouch here in a minute with the stress chart by Kenna. You know, she said, don't do, it's not about powering through this. It's not about, all of a sudden you got to do 60 minutes of heavy weightlifting. And I mean,
Oh,
she
no.
said, do simple, a little breathing, maybe a meditation or a little yoga
Walk
or,
in
yeah,
nature.
walk in nature, be at
Use
peace
this.
with this and yourself, and
Yes.
that's
Yes.
what BioTouch does. I mean,
Yes.
and that's why BioTouch is so simple and it is so gentle, for you and the person doing it with you. And it puts you in relationship. I mean, BioTouch is one person touching another. So imagining, your partner who is like freaking out, like, what the hell is going on here?
So what I gotta tell you this, and that just it's perfect what you just said. When I found out that I was menopausal, and how she says, how do you want to work through this? And she says, ERT, estrogen replacement therapy, was really big then. Do you want to do that? And I'm like, no, I want to go natural. She says, well, she kind of like a secret. Well, we don't really put the women on ERT. It's really for the husband because the husband's like, what can you do for her? Help me, because I'm crazy. Can you imagine if the husband could give the wife through this whole thing BioTouch on a regular basis? It would, as you said, it's perfect, Paul.
Yeah.
It would help both of them.
Or even the kids, get the whole family
Get
involved
the
in
kids going, and
helping
mom,
mom
yeah,
go through
yeah,
this phase of her life
yeah,
that isn't, as you said, which is amazing. It's an important phase of life.
yeah.
It's growth by
A
fire.
change of life.
Right,
You're going
right.
to change. You're going through a change. Well, we can either let that change inundate us, or we can gear back and BioTouch helps us to say this too. Hey, I'm going through whatever you want to name it, a crisis, an experience, a journey. It makes us aware. I'm entering into this. I'm going through this. But what it starts to do is help us get through it by being a part of it,
Yeah.
not outside of it.
Right.
I think that is the biggest difference in the healing process. When you are like, this is mine, I'm doing this. I will consult this, and if I feel like doing this, I'm empowered to do that. But this is not the doctor's journey or the husband's journey. This is my journey. And I want to be present and I want to make the decisions based on awareness
Yeah.
of my body.
So then it becomes important for us as the women going through this to ask for help too from our family, our spouses, our, if we don't have any of that, our neighbor, or get somebody to
Friends who
get
will be
somebody
going
right,
through it
get
too.
somebody to teach BioTouch too. There's only a few sets of points. Again, if you go to our website, you can pull down the little video that happened with Karen, and it shows the few sets of points. You can get the workbook to work on those few sets of points. We also wanted to take the time to show another woman who really helps, Dr. Kenna Stevenson. She wrote this book called Awakening Athena: Resilience, Restoration, and Rejuvenation for Women by Dr. Kenna Stevenson. Here's a little picture of her here. And she is a huge proponent of women's health. I mean, she really
Amazing.
believes women have just been taken advantage of by the healthcare system. They've kept them in the dark. And so she wrote this book for postmenopausal women and did the research with postmenopausal women and BioTouch. And
Ah,
if you want the research, it's on our website. Just click on top. It says research and pull up Kenna's data that she found. But she found with simple BioTouch, all 8 domains, 4 physical and 4 emotional, had improved in 4 weeks with I think once, maybe twice a week of BioTouch. And then she didn't do it for a while and found that the emotional levels had wobbled a little, but the physical, all the things physically stayed improved. And so in that, and it's in this book, there's a whole chapter in her book on BioTouch. And she created this stress chart. And again, we've shown it many times, but we're going to show it again because this is what we talked about. Everything on the upper part of this chart are all the stressors in our life. And we're just going to put in there menopause too. And it creates, and then that would create relationship issues and
yeah.
psychological issues, emotional issues. And so that creates what she calls activation of accelerated aging pathways, chronic stress. Okay, and again, Karen talked about how that affects each of the different hormones. And that creates a cortisol dysregulation and immune dysregulation. If we just deal with the cortisol dysregulation, she found and showed it clinically with blood spot testing and saliva testing and a gene array machine that BioTouch, put that into the chronic stress cycle, improves the circadian pattern of cortisol release, which improves the quality of life. What if that's all that BioTouch does?
I know. Uh, and that's huge.
That's huge, especially based on what we just learned Thursday night, about how one hormone going out just affects the other ones. And you get into this vicious cycle. And, I've
Oh,
always thought that about BioTouch. If BioTouch does nothing else, it gives you a moment to stop the loop. You know,
yeah.
we get in a loop and then fear comes in and then non-understanding and then and then we're in this loop. And BioTouch just sort of stops the merry-go-round just for a moment so that, as you said, we can get a little clarity. What do I want to do? What does this body need to do?
Right.
So,
And it's so important, continuing BioTouch post-menopause. Well, she did the research with postmenopausal women for a reason,
right.
because all the changes that happen in our bodies during menopause, what is that going to look like on the other side? Where are our bodies going to be on the other side, having everything topsy-turvy and the cortisol levels all out of whack and the hormones? So BioTouch during that whole process, but boy, after menopause, this, I think it's just, oh, mandatory. Get
Yeah.
BioTouch. I think it will help our bodies to start regulating maybe and introduce us to, well, here it is. Here's the new me. Here's me after going through the fire initiation.
Right. And that's what Kenna talks about in her book, Awakening Athena. She talks about doing art. She talks about, looking into other kinds of supplementation. Talks about, those simple things to do, like Karen said, where you're not pushing yourself. You're letting the creative part of yourself come forth. As you said, the wise part of ourselves, the creative aspect. It's now time to allow yourself to be creative, to let the wisdom of the feminine come forth. And BioTouch can help us make that transition. We know that from all the research and the people that we've worked with. So, it'd be really nice, if you're listening to this, jot down on there if you've been through menopause or you've been with someone who's been through menopause. Give us a little, what was it like for you? What was menopause like for you? And that would be a fun little comment section there.
And we're here to help you.
Yes, we have BioTouch. If all you can do is the greeting and just A&A, which is hitting the whole pituitary center and the pineal gland and stuff, but you saw how working the headset works on all the brain and the chemical balancing there. The metabolism, which is working on the thyroid, as she talked about insulin levels, and the thyroid gland, which produces hormonal, and then the other points which are working around the adrenals and then that blood sugar point, and then working the lower abdomen on the reproductive organs. Just those 3 sets. It would just be this, and probably would take you maybe 5 minutes to do those sets. About 5 minutes. That's all it would take. So we encourage you to take 5 minutes out of your life, and you're only talking once a week, maybe twice a week, because it's a cumulative thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Please, we hope you'll try it. We hope you'll want to learn BioTouch. Let us know how we can help you. We have other ways to learn. We do have a training coming up. This says July. It should be August 17th and 18th. Here at the center in Tucson. It's a live in-person with Eileen. And our next health condition workshop is going to be with Mara Concordia. She runs the Peaceful Spirit Massage and Wellness Centers here in Tucson. She gave a presentation on carpal tunnel syndrome quite a few years ago, and very timely. So we're going to go through that again and share with you how to work with carpal tunnel syndrome. So, oh wise one.
Wiser, maybe.
Oh, wiser, yeah, wise. We won't go into what kind of wise. So, please let us know how we can help. Thanks, Bev, for sharing your experiences about menopause, and let us know what your experiences are and how we can help bring BioTouch into your life. Thank you all. Thank you for letting us into your home, onto your TV and your phone, and we'll see you all next week. Bye, Bev.
Have a great week.
Days in and days out, space and time is all about feeling pressure with the pain, in sunshine or in the rain. Living is a place in mind, giving is being kind, and the pain is too much. What we need is BioTouch. When I'm touching you, you are touching me. It's a simple thing to do and a natural way to be. I know this to be true. It happens to me and you. In the middle of the day, energy just fades away. Down the line we realize we can re-energize, feeling better in the end, with attention from a friend. When I'm touching you, you are touching me. It's a simple thing to do and a natural way to be.